Hello, and welcome to the show, or should I say, welcome to this fantastic video about how to get your Australian tourist visa. Now, I know what you're thinking. Australian visa? Sounds about as much fun as a kangaroo with a toothache. But hold your horses, because this guide is going to make the whole process as easy as a platypus in a paddling pool. We're talking clear instructions, helpful tips, and maybe even a few laughs along the way. Think of me as your trusty guide, leading you through the outback of visa applications. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the koala in the eucalyptus tree paperwork. We've all been there, staring at a mountain of forms higher than Uluru. But fear not, my friends, because we're going to break it down into manageable chunks, so you can wave goodbye to any visa-related stress. So grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. By the end, you'll be practically saying g'day with an Aussie accent. Well, maybe not, but you'll definitely be ready to book that dream trip down under. Right then, let's talk documents, the building blocks of your Australian adventure. First up, you'll need your passport, the golden ticket to international travel. Now, make sure it's valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay, or they'll send you back faster than you can say shrimp on the barbie. Next, we need some recent photographs. And no, your 10-year-old Facebook profile picture won't cut it, darling. We need to see that sparkling personality, so grab your best smile and head to a professional photographer. Remember, this is your chance to impress the Australian government with your good side. Now let's talk money, honey. You'll need to prove you've got enough dosh to support yourself while you're living it up in the land of sunshine and surf. Think bank statements, pay slips, maybe even a letter from your nan promising to fund your Vegemite addiction. And finally, don't forget your travel insurance. It's better to be safe than sorry, especially when you're sharing a country with giant spiders and crocodiles that could give even Dame Judi Dench a fright. Alright lovelies, it's time to tackle the beast, the visa application form. Now before you start sweating like a Hemsworth in a heatwave, let me assure you, it's not as scary as it looks. Just think of it as a slightly more official version of filling out your online dating profile. First things first, grab your reading glasses and a cuppa, because accuracy is key here. We're talking names, dates, passport numbers, all that good stuff. One wrong digit and you could end up on a watch list, and trust me, nobody wants that kind of attention. Next, be honest. I know it's tempting to embellish your language skills or downplay your love for Vegemite, but believe me, the truth always comes out. And besides, a little honesty goes a long way, especially with those lovely people at the Australian Embassy. And finally, if you're unsure about anything, don't be afraid to ask for help. There are plenty of resources available online, and you can always reach out to the Australian Embassy for guidance. Remember, there's no shame in asking for directions, especially when it comes to navigating the wonderful world of visa applications. Voiceover. Now you've filled out the form, and you're feeling pretty chuffed with yourself, aren't you? Good. But before you hit that submit button, pump the brakes, my friend. It's time for the most crucial step of all, checking your work. I know it sounds boring, but trust me on this one. Go through every single detail with a fine-tooth comb. Check your name, your birth date, your passport number, everything. You'd be amazed at how easy it is to miss a typo, especially after a long day of wrestling with paperwork. Once you're confident everything is accurate, get a fresh pair of eyes on it. Grab your partner, your flatmate, your pet parrot, anyone who can read, and have them double-check everything. Remember, 2 heads are better than 1, especially when it comes to avoiding visa application blunders. And finally, once you're absolutely, positively, 100% certain that everything is correct, take a deep breath, channel your inner Zen master, and hit that submit button. Congratulations, my friend. You've just cleared the first hurdle. Right then, you've gathered your documents like a squirrel. Preparing for winter, you filled out the application form with the precision of a brain surgeon. And now it's time for the main event, submitting that application. It's like pressing the big red button on a game show, except instead of winning a lifetime supply of baked beans, you might win a trip to Australia. Now don't go looking for a big flashing button on the Australian immigration website. Though wouldn't that be fun? Instead, you'll be clicking links and uploading documents. Think of it as a digital obstacle course, but instead of dodging swinging ropes and leaping over pits of foam, you're battling upload speeds and file size limits. But fear not, my intrepid traveler, it's not as daunting as it sounds. The Australian immigration website is actually quite user-friendly. Think of it as the friendly neighborhood pub of immigration websites. It's welcoming, easy to navigate, and you won't find yourself trapped in a conversation about the weather with a bloke named Bruce. So, once you've uploaded everything, take a deep breath, channel your inner daredevil, and hit that submit button. Don't worry, there won't be any confetti or flashing lights, unless your computer celebrates by short-circuiting. Then again, that's probably a story for another time. Now I know what you're thinking. Graham, this all sounds fantastic, but surely all this fun doesn't come cheap. And you'd be right, my friend. You see, even dreams down under require a bit of cold, hard cash. It's time to talk about the visa application fee. Yes, I know. Talking about money can be as pleasant as a kangaroo in a china shop, but it's a necessary evil. Think of it as an investment in your future happiness. After all, you can't put a price on the experience of exploring a new country, immersing yourself in a different culture, and possibly being mistaken for a celebrity by a confused koala. The good news is, the Australian government offers a variety of payment methods. You can pay by credit card, debit card, or even bank transfer. They've made it so easy, even your tech-challenged Uncle Barry could figure it out. And if Uncle Barry can do it, anyone can. Just make sure all your payment details are correct before you hit that confirm button. You wouldn't want your Australian adventure to be cut short because of a misplaced decimal point. That would be more tragic than a plate of Vegemite left out in the rain. Now you might be thinking you're home free. You've tackled the application, paid the fee. Surely the hard part is over, right? Well, hold your horses, my friend. Depending on your circumstances, you might have one more little hurdle to clear the biometrics appointment. Yes, you heard that right. The Australian government wants to make sure you are who you say you are, and they're not just talking about your questionable taste in hats. This is where they bring out the big guns, the fingerprint scanners, and the high-definition cameras. Don't worry, it's not as dramatic as it sounds. It's not like you're starring in a spy thriller. You won't be dodging laser beams or engaging in high-speed chases on your way to the appointment. Well, unless you're running late. The biometrics appointment is usually a quick and painless process. You'll pop into a visa application center, have your fingerprints taken, smile for the camera, and then you're done. Just remember to leave your Groucho Marx disguise at home. So you filled out the forms, paid your dues, literally, and even had your fingerprints taken like some Aussie Sherlock Holmes is on the case. You're practically there, right? Well, hold your kangaroos because there might be one final hurdle, the interview. Don't panic just yet. Not everyone gets called in for an interview. It's usually reserved for special cases, like if your application needs a bit more clarification. Maybe they think you're smuggling koalas in your suitcase, who knows? But it's best to be prepared, just in case. Now I know what you're thinking. Graham, what kind of questions will they ask? What if I freeze like a startled wombat in headlights? First of all, relax. They're just trying to get to know you a bit better. They might ask about your travel plans, your reasons for visiting Australia, or if you've ever wrestled a crocodile. The important thing is to answer honestly and confidently. Remember, you've got nothing to hide, unless you actually smuggling koalas, in which case I applaud your ambition. Before you even set foot in that interview room, make sure you've done your homework. Review your application like it's the script for your West End debut. Know those dates, those details, those whimsical anecdotes you might have thrown in there. And speaking of anecdotes, it doesn't hurt to have a few stories up your sleeve about why you want to visit Australia. Did you bond with a kookaburra on holiday as a child? Have you always dreamt of swimming with the fishes? And by fishes, I mean whale sharks, not mobsters. Oh, and bring your documents. I'm talking passport, application confirmation, financial statements, the works. Think of it as your supporting cast. They're there to back you up and add weight to your performance. The key here is to be prepared, be yourself, and most importantly, be charming. You know, turn on that famous charm, the one that makes everyone want to be your mate. All right, you've faced the interview, or maybe dodged it entirely, you lucky devil. And now you're playing the waiting game. It's like waiting for the results of a particularly stressful bake-off, isn't it? You just know your Victoria sponge is good enough, but the suspense is killing you. Well, fret not, my friend, because technology is here to help. The Australian immigration website is your new best mate, offering a handy-dandy feature to track your application status. It's like having a direct line to the visa gods, but without the awkward small talk. Now I know what you're thinking. How often should I check? Is once an hour too much? What about every 10 minutes? Look, I'm not here to judge, but maybe try to restrain yourself a tad. Obsessively refreshing the page won't make the process go any faster, I'm afraid. Instead, think of it like checking the mailbox. You wouldn't camp out by the letterbox all day, would you? Unless you're expecting a particularly exciting package, or, your visa approval. Let's talk about common mistakes in your Australian visa application. Even a tiny mistake can lead to rejection. Honesty is crucial. Don't embellish your application. Complete every section of the form. Double-check for errors and include all required documents. Don't rush. Take your time to avoid mistakes. Follow these tips to avoid common pitfalls. So, you've sent off your application, paid your fee, and now you're playing the waiting game. It's a bit like waiting for your A-level results, isn't it? Except instead of wondering if you'll get into university, you're wondering if you'll get to experience the joys of Australian wildlife and Vegemite. The Australian government provides estimated processing times, but let's be honest, sometimes it feels like they're just pulling numbers out of a hat, like those lottery machines. You check the website religiously, refreshing the page every 5 minutes, hoping for an update. Don't worry, darling. It's perfectly normal to be a tad impatient. We've all been there. Just try to distract yourself. Maybe go for a walk, bake a cake, or practice your best Aussie accent. G'day, mate. See, that's not so bad, is it? Now, if you've been waiting longer than the estimated processing time, and your inbox is still looking tragically empty, well, then it might be time to give the immigration office a gentle nudge. Think of it like calling the restaurant when your takeaway order is late. You're not angry, yet. Just keen to know when you can expect your delicious visa to arrive. You can usually contact them by phone or email, and the details will be on their website. Remember to be polite and professional, even if you're internally screaming, "Where's my bloody visa?" They're more likely to help you if you're not yelling at them down the phone. Just explain your situation, provide your application details, and politely inquire about the status. Hopefully they'll be able to give you an update or at least put your mind at ease. And if they put you on hold, well, that's just more time to practice your Aussie lingo. Congratulations, love, you've made it. The email has arrived, and it's not a rejection, it's an approval. You're officially going to Australia. Now, where did I put that champagne? It's time to celebrate. You've jumped through all the hoops, dotted the I's, and crossed the T's, and now you're reaping the rewards. You've earned yourself a trip to the land of sunshine, surfing, and, well, more sunshine. But before you start packing your bags and practicing your didgeridoo skills, there's one more crucial step: printing out your visa. Yes, I know, it seems a bit old-fashioned in this digital age, but trust me, you don't want to be that person who forgets and gets turned away at the airport. Think of your printed visa as your golden ticket to Australia. It's your passport to adventure, your key to the kangaroo kingdom. So, naturally, you'll want to keep it safe and sound. Now, I'm not suggesting you build a high-security vault in your living room, but maybe don't use it as a coaster or accidentally put it through the wash. Common sense stuff. A good tip is to make a few copies and keep them in separate places. That way, even if disaster strikes and you spill your morning coffee all over the original, you'll have a backup, or two. And there you have it. You're officially ready to embark on your Australian adventure. Oh, and one last piece of advice. Don't forget to pack your sunscreen because the Aussie sun, well, let's just say it's a bit more intense than what you're probably used to. Well, there you have it, your step-by-step guide to conquering the Australian visa process. Remember, a little preparation goes a long way, and even though it might seem daunting, it's absolutely achievable. If you found this video even remotely helpful, give it a big thumbs up. And if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. I'll I'll do my best to answer them, although I can't promise I'll be as quick as the Australian Immigration Office. Hopefully. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more travel tips and hilarious misadventures. Until next time, safe travels and g'day.